Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. Ehsan Khandaker is also a candidate for the Ward 5 council position in the by-election that's happening on Monday, June the 10th. He's got a long involvement in the community, a business person. I've met him at Rotary and other functions. And we thought we'd check in with him and find out how his campaign's going, why he's running, and what the big policies are. Ehsan, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for inviting me, Brian. Thank you.
My pleasure. So tell me, why is it that you're running to be the Ward 5 councillor?
Great. There's a long answer. I'm not going to go into it. I'll just give you the short answer. The short answer is, for 17 years, I've been running programs in Mississauga Malton, the entire Ward 5. And not only that, I was doing all that while I had my corporate jobs. But something happened. I had a medical emergency, and two of my friends within a span of 9 months had died. And so when my situation came, I made a promise to my creator that if I survived, I will serve. And soon after, exactly 7 months ago, when this happened, I became all right. And so I called my bank and I said, I'm retiring. And that was exactly 3 months ago. I jumped into this, and now I'm going to do this full time.
Fantastic.
So that's the reason number one. And there's many others.
Okay, tell me reason number two.
Reason number two is that as a social entrepreneur, I call myself that. Why? Because I had so much of corporate experience, but simultaneously, I had the experience of Catholic Family Services Board Chair, Rotary Club, as I mentioned, Executive Director of Heartland Credit Review Community Health Services. And I thought nothing is changing. You know why? Because I think we're following the formula of insanity. We keep doing the same thing over and over again. And so I thought maybe if I come in, I'll be able to change it. And how is that possible? Because we did that at Catholic Family Services. The boards before had a different way of thinking. When I came in, I had to change the board twice. So in short, what I'm saying is, I believe our taxes, crime, housing, all of these things have also a secondary option. Not always the same thing that we are doing. Can't do that again. So I'll go into a detail a lot more. So I believe my 22 years of managing budgets, running a five-star hotel, which is a 24/7, 300 to 400 staff member, 24/7, or not-for-profit as a Heartland Credit View, or service organization like Catholic Family Services, that prepared me well. And that is the reason why I'm doing this. I'm going to make some announcement. I've known you for long, at least 15, 20 years. And I want to announce some big things in your show today. One, I'm running because I will be building the first hydroponic and aquaponic system in Ward 5. What will that do? That's going to take care of 51 families. Sidam Food Bank needs some help. And I'm going to come forward and bring them on board, while the students from the schools that I've been helping all along will be learning business, voluntary hours, and even probably sell. And so, and they're going to be able to work with each other. See, that's not happening. So that's number one. Number two, a Center for Humanity. Exactly what we have done for Catholic Family Services. We're going to build one. I've raised $250,000 already from last year before my medical emergency. I was talking to already working in banks, in financial services, and the international planning. One of the things that I learned is there are a lot of people who would like to have their legacy changed. They want to leave money behind. I don't know if any candidate has that kind of outlook on this problem of ours. My point is, don't look to the government for all the answers. They don't have the money. And if anybody says that they're going to take down the taxes, they can't. The inflation, they can't, right? So it's a global phenomenon. As a student of finance and economics, we know it has to have a different outlook. So as I mentioned, I'm going to have the first hydroponic, aquaponic. I'm going to have a Center for Humanity built within the 3 years of me taking over as a city councilor. And we will do the same thing as Catholic Family Services, go and get some funding from the federal government, get some private funding, get the naming rights. We got $1 million for naming rights for the Center for Families in William G. Davis Center, right? So there are ways that you can do and not rely on the government. Lastly, the crime, I believe there's a long answer and a short answer. The short answer is easy. Have police presence. But that's not the answer, because if that was the case, America would have no crime. What I feel should be happening in Mississauga, Malton, is what I've been doing all along. You go to Malton Hub, you'll see all these young people sitting there. How many more are there? We need to engage them. So I am doing this because after observing on the sideline to see what our politicians are doing, I believe that you need a different approach. I'm not looking for a job. And I'm going to say this today. Nothing against anybody. I'm sorry to say this. I don't have to be actually sorry. I am the best candidate with the experience. There are other candidates are looking for a job. I'm not. I retired.
But you know, you may be, and frankly, with all humility, I might be. But
you are.
So many people think that, I appreciate that, but so many people think that you need to be on city council already, or you need to have those partisan political connections. You know, the two leading candidates, I understand, in Ward 5, number one is very involved in the Liberal Party and has been for a long period of time. And the other one has a close association with one of the mayoralty candidates, actually worked as her executive assistant. And so people are telling me, well, that's how you get ahead in politics. You gotta have partisan political connections, or you gotta have a close personal relationship with one of the leading candidates for a higher office. And experience and capability and ideas, they don't count for anything.
Oh, I have a very, very straightforward answer. While I was the board chair of Catholic Family Services, those days, I was a member of the Liberal Party. Yet, for six and a half years, I worked with the conservative parties. They asked me to become one of their candidates. I don't want to run for political office. That was never my intention. So let's just say this way. Just because you belong to a political party, you can take a look at what's happening to that party at the moment, right? So my point is, that's not enough. And especially when you are a rookie and you are a freshman MPP or MP, you don't have enough power. However, me, coming from the corporate background, I can start the process by forcing them. How? I will go out, and as I mentioned to you, I already have $250,000 to build a center. It becomes now easier, isn't it? Doesn't it? So then I go out there and then I bring my finance background, my social service background. It becomes easier. So I'm so sorry to say, just because somebody's been endorsed by somebody has been an official of a Liberal Party, I mean to say an official, or somebody worked in councillor's office, it's not the same thing. You know, I can have somebody helping me in something, but they're not doing it. What is the one thing that you cannot buy? The experience. The experience
and you got
you
it.
cannot buy.
And I happen to believe very strongly, obviously, that the business experience can be extremely valuable for someone in politics, and someone that's got to look at and analyze and hopefully reduce budget expenses. But you know what? So many people just don't care. All they want to care about is, do I know that name, and are they connected with some political party that I may or may not be associated with? Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Well, that's why a program like yours is going to be important. They may not know me before, but now today you give me a chance. And I want to say thank you for all the time that you spent at the Rotary Club. Your transit experience, I still remember the presentations you were making. Clear cut, concise, excellent. Let's do more of these programs.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Real pleasure. Do you have a website that people should go to if they want to check you out?
Absolutely. www.khandaker, KHANDAKER.ca. And I love texting. Please call me 416-457-5597.
That's our show for tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Monday, June 10th is election day. Get out there and vote. Exercise your franchise. Good night, everybody.
Good night.